sis.
Hey, everybody. Yes, I am back. I know you didn't expect to hear me so soon.
No.
But I'm happy to be back because it is a great distraction. You know, I took my maternity leave. My last day was the, 13th? And Shadina and I checked into Northside Hospital then, all because she got diagnosed with breast cancer and had an aggressive form and needed to be able to start her chemo pretty quickly. So got to Northside. Shiloh was born on Valentine's Day.
Valentine, baby.
As soon as she came out, you know, she let out a little, you know, like a soft cry, and it was cool. I was like, oh my God, yay, we got to cry, we're good. And shortly after they took her over, because they always have the NICU and all the pediatric nurses and doctors around when it's an early, a premature baby born. But I was cool because I was like, well, she's 6 pounds, 8 ounces. She healthy. We good. We going home. They took her over. She wasn't crying anymore. They were like rubbing her back, rubbing her pretty aggressively. And I was like, what's going on? And as the time continued to go, it felt like forever. But they were just like, they kept their calm. And I was like, wait, something's not right. Because everybody's looking at each other like, they're shouting out to call whoever. And I'm like, was something happening? They're like, yeah, it's fine, Mom. Everything's fine. Then they start giving her oxygen on her face. And she's like turning a little gray. And I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right, you know. They finally get her up there. They have her on 100% oxygen. The next day, like, Mom, we'll be back. You know, we'll call you when we get her upstairs and settle. When I saw her the second time, she was intubated. She was on a ventilator. And I was like, what happened? You know what? They were like, well, we don't understand why she's not, you know, able to breathe without it, but she's going to be fine. We're going to run some tests. They did the scans, and she had coronal atresia, which I'll go into a little bit detail later, but basically both her nasal passages were blocked. And I knew she would need surgery for that. So we found that out like a day or so after, like 2 days after. So she was born the 14th, intubated the 14th, and then like on the 17th we found out she needed surgery. Mind you, I was leaving for All-Star. So while I'm at All-Star, I'm thinking about it. And all I'm getting is, well, we can't get her a bed. We got it. And I'm like, a bed? What do you mean? We had to transfer her to CHOA, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, because they have all the great doctors and specialists, and they can handle this surgery to open her nasal passages. It's nothing. We can do that, but we can't get her a bed because Shiloh's considered non-emergent. It's not an emergency. And we have babies that are other babies that are premature, or other babies that are in need of like a bed ASAP because they'll die. And I was like, well, what about my baby? You know, like she needs a bed, you know, and honestly, being on a ventilator for an extended period of time puts a lot of, you know, pressure on the lungs. And then you start getting fluid in the lungs, and then you run into other problems. So I'm all the way in Utah, and like I feel like the walls are like closing in on me. I can't breathe. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I got to do something about it. And that is the power of social media. Once you start to tell people what you're going through, then people try to help you. And a lot of people didn't understand why I was posting and why I was sharing my journey. But when I tell you, it's been so helpful, because as soon as I shared, a girl named Kendall Moss, who I worked with her over at the Falcons when I first got on the cheer squad. She reached out. She's like, hey, I hear you're at Northside in the NICU. Can I send over my friend, Dr. Sandy June, to talk to you? She came over. I had a whole meltdown. I was like, I got to get my baby trouble. She can't stay on the ventilator forever. Y'all, I kid you not. Monday, the 20th, Shiloh was transported to Showa, Scottish Rite. That Tuesday, she had her surgery. Big love to Dr. Harmon. She squeezed my baby in, got the surgery done. I mean, the surgery it went well. We'll know how successful it was in 2 weeks. So Tuesday makes a week. The next Tuesday makes 2 weeks. They'll remove the stents. Right now, Shiloh is breathing completely on her own. No oxygen, no nothing. The worry is that when you remove the stents, the nose could close back up, because naturally scar tissue likes to heal itself. It doesn't realize, so they might have to do a repeat surgery for that. which is why she'll have to be there at least an additional week just after the stents are removed. So now that's 3 weeks additional.
Right.
And for me, sitting by the bedside every day, you have an idle mind. You have, the idle mind is a devil's playground. And, I got really bad. Like, my anxiety was on time. I had to get some medicine for it. I just wasn't doing well. And my work Hawks game Friday, and it was a good distraction. And I was like, I don't want to spend all my FMLA time off just sitting at the hospital. I want to be able to enjoy her when she comes home. And I get it, working moms, NICU moms, I understand, like, it's such a slippery slope. You're so emotional because you're sitting there looking at, I'm embarrassed to even tell some of the thoughts I had. I was sitting there and I would hear other babies in the NICU cry. I'll be like, I can't wait to hear my baby cry. Like, with Shia, my first girl, I was like, how do I make her stop crying? And
I'm about to say, you're asking for it now, but later on you were like,
Shiloh, I'm like, oh man, I just can't wait for the day to even hear her cry. Just really puts things into perspective. You really realize the things that you take for granted, And so she's doing great with the whole opening of her nasal passages. But we have a long journey ahead, y'all. She had some other diagnoses, and none of them are like completely life-changing. She has to have some serious surgeries along the way. So it's going to be a journey, but she's a fighter like her mom, so I know she's going to be okay. It's crazy because I looked for the smallest of signs from Di. I looked at the diapers that she had on from Northside, and I never noticed it, but the diaper says Shiloh. Literally, the diaper says Shiloh. Pampers, it's the Pampers brand. And it says Shiloh and Freddie.
Nice.
Apparently that's like an elephant cartoon or something. I don't know. I'm going to look it up. But I was like, oh, okay, I see you guys. I get it. Yeah, she's supposed to be here. And I'll go into detail a little bit later about the other things that we are going to be challenged with and have to deal with. But, I don't take for granted a healthy baby anymore. Like,
I'm just happy to see you.
Well, I'm happy to be here, Tigger.
And I saw her for like literally 5 minutes at all. Showed up in Utah expecting to fully have to babysit you. No, well, I was like, if she's going to be here, I know what she's going through. I'm going to have to be her wall and lean on her rocks while I'm out here. And literally, I saw her 5 minutes. We went to lunch and they were like, bye.
Yes,
I was like, damn.
And that was the thing. If you don't advocate for your child, nobody else will. Because had I not gone home, Shiloh could still just be sitting on the ventilator at Northside. Like, me going home, me becoming proactive, like posting, making people aware of what I needed and what was going on, helped me get her to Scottish, and so it all helps on this journey.
Well, we're here for you, sis. We'll learn more about what's going on, the other parameters, the other ramifications and things that are attached to Shamea's surrogacy journey.
Yes.
I'm now with baby Shiloh.
Absolutely. I got to tell you all about Shiloh and a little bit more about Shadina.
Absolutely.
Because it's still a journey for her as well. Like, when I say, do we have a story? Like, sometimes I tell myself, I know I always wanted to be an actress. But hell, I didn't want to be I didn't want to start my own, This is a whole thing. I'm like, you just never. Let me tell you, I should have got an NAACP Image Award yesterday for Best Actress in my own drama series because it is great. Yes.
The movie is called Shamea.
Oh, MG. But yeah, we're going to talk about the NAACP Image Awards at 6:40 in the Tia with Shamea. But yeah, y'all stick around.
Yes, indeed. It's going down 6:30 now with the Big Ticket Water Show, V103.